Namaste, welcome to Amana Yoga. We're going to do a warm stretch class at this moment. It's only going to be about a 30-minute class. It's not intense, it's all a gentle, relaxing stretch. We'll move slowly, we'll hold poses a little longer. We call it warm stretch because it's important for your body to be a little bit warm, but in a comfortable way, so we don't want to create sweat. But we just want to create enough warmth so the muscles can relax and it loosens them up and loosens up your joints a little bit more. And also being a little bit warm gives us feeling of comfort, of safety, and and just allows your nervous system to move into relaxation response. So with that being said, I'll get you all to come to lying on your backs. I'm going to remain seated so that I can talk through this first part of the class. But as you lie on your back like you would in Shavasana, so you just take your hands a little bit to the side, wriggle your shoulder blades under and turn your palms up, but without effort. And then just let your hands and wrists fall over however they will. Have your feet just a little bit apart and just let the ankles fall to the sides and just let gravity take your feet and your ankles to wherever gravity wants it to be. Take a slow, deep inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, just let go of all the cares, concerns, and worries of your day. Just breathe it out. Start to connect with your breath. Notice the breath going in through your nose and out through your nose. Notice when you inhale, the belly rises. And when you exhale, the belly falls. And you might notice that when you pay attention to your breath, it starts to slow down. And your mind becomes more settled. Use these next few moments to scan your body and look for any areas of tension, pain, or resistance, anything that can affect your practice. Take note of these areas so that when you do different poses, you don't go beyond what your body is capable of doing at this moment. And this is also the time to set your intentions for your practice. To do no harm to your body, no harm to your mind, and just accept where you are with your practice as being exactly as it's meant to be. Just gently start to move your fingers and your toes. Take your feet together and stretch your hands over your head, stretch from your fingers to your toes. Stretch your right side and then stretch your left side. And stretch both sides. And start to draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Rocking gently from left to right. Just massaging the lower back. And then come to the center and just hold on to your right knee and extend your left leg to the floor. Take a moment to press through the left heel, and you really want to anchor the left side. You want the hamstrings a little closer to the floor. And gently hold on to your right knee and give it a nice squeeze towards the center of your chest. And then let your ankles relax, let your jaw relax, your eyes. And whenever you find your mind drifting, just bring it back to your breath. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls. Now hold the knee with the right hand. Keep your left side anchored and just start to open the knee to the right. Don't tip over. The knee doesn't have to reach the floor. You just want to keep your left side anchored on the floor. Just isolating those inner thigh muscles. And come to center. Take the knee with the left hand and reach your right hand out to the side. Either the palm up or the palm down, whatever is better for your shoulder. Let your hips shift slightly to the right and then just twist to the left.
Taking the left hand on the outside of the right knee. Scoop the belly in and just let the knee drift down. But keep your right shoulder anchored on the floor. Really hug the shoulder blade into the floor. And the right hip gently stretches away from the right shoulder to create a little more space so that the knee goes a little closer to the floor. And then relax. Relax everything, the arms, the shoulders, the legs. On your next inhale, gently come back to center. Create one more squeeze with your knee into the body. And then draw the left knee in. Again, just readjust, just to balance on the left and right side, drawing both knees in. And then hold on to the left knee, extend your right leg to the floor. First pressing through the heel, getting the leg anchored on the floor. And then let the ankle relax, both feet relax, and just squeezing that left knee to the center of your chest. And then hold the knee with the left hand, keeping the right side anchored. Draw the left knee to the side, isolating those inner thigh muscles. And then on an inhale, draw the knee to center. Take the knee with the right hand, scoop the hips a little to the left, extend through the left hand, and then gently draw the knee to the left side. Again, scooping the belly in, lifting the ribs, exhale, sink down. Keeping that left shoulder on the floor. And again, focus on the breath. As you inhale, feel the ribs rise and expand from the waist. And as you exhale, let yourself melt a little further into the pose. On your next inhale, come back to center and draw both knees in towards your chest again. Now, take both feet up in the air, and you can either have the hands on the back of the thighs or on the floor. Just point and flex the ankles. Just taking the legs up in the opposite way just helps create a little more circulation through the legs. It's really good for the immune system and circulation. Now, rotate the ankles in one direction, and then go in the other direction. And then let's draw the knees in again. And this time take both feet to the floor. So this is a pose called constructive rest. So you want feet on the floor, not too close to the hips, just roughly under your ankles. And you want to have a natural curve in the lower back. So you should be able to slide a couple fingers under your lower back. And then roll the shoulders under and then turn the palms up like you would in Shavasana. So this is a great pose to decompress the spine, especially if you spent a lot of the day either a lot of standing or a lot of sitting without getting a lot of movement. And that just helps the spine relax, decompress, and helps it return to a normal state, a neutral position. Now let's reach the hands up to the ceiling. Pull your right hand closer to the ceiling. Try to pull your shoulder blade right off the floor. And then bring it down and do the same with the left side. And then keep going back and forth. Think about climbing a rope, pulling a rope towards you or trying to pull each shoulder. And you're creating a nice massage in your upper back, a little bit of loosening into the shoulders. And then take your opposite elbows with your hands, forearms crossed above your chest. Take an inhale. As you exhale, let's take both elbows to the left, stretching the back of the right arm. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the other side. We coordinate with the breath, just really bring the attention to our breath. Come back to center so that we move slowly and mindfully. Now going to the left again. If it's comfortable with your neck, look over your right shoulder. And inhale back. And let's go over to the other side. Let's do that back and forth, left to right, moving slowly. And if your breath isn't coordinated, that's okay. Just keep your attention on your movement. Make it slow, deliberate, just loosening up the shoulders. And then come to center and release your hands. And just notice how that feels in your shoulders. We'll do a bit of a hip opener. So take your right ankle over the left knee. When you want to really flex at the ankle, this will protect the right knee. And place your right hand on the thigh, not on the knee, but close to the hip joint. And you just want to gently nudge that thigh away from you. This creates a little more opening into the hip. And just start to rock back and forth, nice and slow. No big movement, start small. And then you're just getting a nice movement through the hip, a little massage in the lower back. And you can take bigger movements back and forth until eventually your knee may come close to the floor on one side, the foot closer to the floor on the other side, getting a big range of movement back and forth. And then take smaller movements and come to center. And then start to draw your left knee towards you. Wrap your hands either around the back of the thigh or around the knee, the shin, keeping that right ankle flexed to protect the knee. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, draw your knee towards your chest, taking a deeper stretch. So don't force it. We're just trying to get a nice gentle stretch into that right hip, the buttock muscles, the back of the thigh. And release. Both feet on the floor. Just rebalance for a moment. Other side. Take your left ankle across the right knee. Keeping the ankle flexed, place your left hand on the thigh and gently press the thigh away from you. Create a little more space and then just start to rock back and forth. Small movements at the start. And then you gradually, larger range back and forth until eventually your knee goes almost to the floor on one side, the foot to almost to the floor on the other side. Nice, big range movements, getting the stretch throughout the whole body, and then gradually smaller movements, and come to center. Then start to draw your right knee in towards your chest, wrapping your hand around the shins or the back of the thigh. Relax your right ankle, keeping your left ankle flexed. And release. Right foot to the floor, left foot to the floor. And just gently take a moment to roll all the way to the right side. And because we've been on our back for a while, you just want to take a moment to rest here, let the blood flow normalize, and then place your top hand on the floor, extend your top leg, let your head drag behind you, just slowly take your time to work your way up to sitting. And then we're going to move all the way into tabletop position to get ready for cat and cow. So cat and cow is a great stretch for the back. And if the floor is too hard on the knee, you can use a blanket to protect your knees. Wherever you are, your wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and just have your back neutral to start, shoulders relaxed. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, move into cat pose. Let your head hang, tuck your tailbone under. And you can just let your weight shift from left to right, forward, back, diagonally. This is a really good stretch for muscles along your spine. And this is a great way to find out any areas that are a little more tense than others. Work your way to center. And on an inhale, start to lift your head, lift your tailbone.
Squeeze all the tension out of your upper back, squeezing your shoulder blades together. And go back and forth. Exhaling into cat. Inhaling into cow. Letting the breath guide the movement. Keeping the movement slow, deliberate. And you can add to this. So we can add any other stretches that we want. You can start to stretch through your right waist as you curl up into cow, into cat, and then the other side, going around circles, and make sure you go in both directions so you're balanced, and it's just like you're drawing a circle with your torso. Another option is draw one shoulder to the opposite hip, hips to the heels. Again, going on both sides, stretching more into the hips, more into the shoulders. And then any other movements you want, and then just take your time to work your way back to center, back into stillness. Now take your right hand, slide it under the left, and slide your hand as far away from you and taking the shoulder to the floor. Keep your left hand on the floor just in front of your face, and then just start to gently roll that left shoulder back, pulling the right shoulder forward into a nice twist. Now reach that left hand to the ceiling. And then take it behind you. You can rest your hand on your back or reach around for your thigh, rolling that left shoulder back. And then reach the hand up again. Place it back on the floor and come all the way up. And we'll do the other side. You're going to take your left hand, scoop it under the right, shoulder to the floor. Keeping your right hand on the floor, slide your left shoulder further away and gently roll that right shoulder back. Then release the right hand to the ceiling. Reach nice and tall, and either the hand comes onto your lower back or all the way around to the thigh, rolling that right shoulder back. And then release the hand back up, take it back to the floor, and come all the way back up. Now, come down to your forearms and just rebalance. And again, you can do cat and cow a little bit. We're going to do a few more stretches for our shoulders. So, take your right hand to the left elbow. Stretch your left hand further away and walk your fingers a little further away from you. Then take your right elbow closer to the end of your mat and then sink your chest to the floor. You can have your forehead down if that's better for your neck. But keep your hips over your knees, belly moves towards your thighs, and get a nice stretch into that right shoulder. Just letting gravity do most of the work here. Slowly start to come back. And we'll do the other side. Left hand to the right elbow. Stretch the right hand away from you. Walk your fingers a little further away. Plant your right hand. Slide your left elbow closer to the end of your mat and let the shoulder sink down. And again, just take whatever neck position is comfortable for you. Deep inhale, exhale, relax a little more into the pose. And then reach both hands out. Puppy stretch. Both hands out, using your palms for control. And as much as comfortable with your shoulders, let your chest sink down. Don't push your shoulders down. Just let gravity do the work. And again, your forehead can be on the floor or you can be looking forward, whatever's comfortable with your neck. And then work your way back. Coming back up. If you're using a blanket under the knees, just set it to the side. And come all the way to lying on your belly. You're going to place one hand on top of the other. You can take your forehead to your hands or just your head to the side. Let your feet fall to the sides.
Now we're going to work the back muscle a little bit with a few Cobra poses. So start with sliding your hands under your shoulders. Take your right leg back a little further and then the left, forehead on the floor. And with an inhale, lift your head, your shoulders, both hands. Keep your feet on the floor. Exhale, come down. Inhale again, head, shoulders, and hands. Exhale down. And come up. This time we'll hold head, shoulders. This time take your hands behind your back. Roll the shoulders back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift up. And hold. And breathe. Just isolating those lower back muscles. And release. One hand, take the opposite hand on top this time. Then either forehead on your hands or take the other side of your head to your hands. And then come back. We're going to do a shoulder stretch here. So walk your hands out nice and far. Walk your feet further away from you, so as long as you can through the body. Now, walk your left hand towards you, lift up a little, and slide your right hand under the left. And walk your fingertips as far away from as you can. And then be very cautious if you have shoulder injuries. And then take your arm to the floor and let your upper body settle onto the back of your right arm. You can keep your left hand extended, and especially if you have shoulder injuries, you can use pressure on your left hand to take the weight off the right shoulder, and then take good control over how much you let your weight settle onto the shoulder. And if your arm is feeling okay, if you feel like you can take a little deeper stretch, take your left hand beside you. And just take your left shoulder towards the right arm. And just relax. If you find it's hard to breathe, or you find you're losing your breath, you may have gone too far, in which case you take your left hand forward again to take the pressure off. So you do what feels right. You don't want to create any inflammation in the shoulder. And if your left hand is still beside you, take it forward again. Press into the left hand, take the weight off the right arm, slide the right arm forward. One hand on top of the other, forehead on your hands or head to one side, and relax. Notice any sensations you have going through your right shoulder, the upper arm, the tricep muscles. And let's get ready for the other side, stretching your hands forward, coming up slightly. So take your left hand across this time. Anytime you feel sharp shooting pain, you should come out of the pose right away. And again, you may find a big difference on the right and left side, so you just need to control it in a way that's safest for your shoulder. And again, if it's comfortable, start with the right hand extended, and if your shoulder's feeling okay, if there's no pain, take your right hand beside you and let your right shoulder sink towards the left arm, the left elbow. And if this tension becomes too intense, stretch your right arm forward again to take the pressure off. Keep your neck neutral. Try to keep very relaxed face and neck. And then reach your right hand forward again, place it on the floor, lift up. Both arms forward and then relax. We're going to do a little bit of stretch through the back. So just reach your hands again. Walk your hands as far away. Walk your feet further away. Get long through the front of your body. Place both hands on the floor so shoulder distance apart. And start to lift your head and your shoulders, then walk one hand at a time towards you, coming up
slowly, with control, until eventually you can slide your elbows right under your shoulders. And at this point, let your chest sink down, roll the shoulders back, and then lift up, pulling your sternum, the heart center, forward and up. Now, if you feel pinching in your lower back, slide your elbows forward so your chest comes a little closer to the floor until the pinching goes away. And you may find after you hold it, you may be able to come back up again. If you're okay where you are, just relax. Either your elbows under your shoulders or forward of your shoulders. And when we go into a pose, you feel a little bit of burn of the stretch. And as soon as that burn goes away, we'll be able to go up a little bit more. So if the back still feels very tense, stay where you are. If you feel like you can go a little further, if you're not feeling anything, walk your hands further away, a little bit out to the side, and lift your elbows off the floor. Relax your legs, your buttocks, your belly. If you feel pinching, then go back to where we were, go back to a lower level. When we move in stages, you can either hold here or walk your hands a little bit closer. And again, roll the shoulders back, lift through the sternum, keep your chin level with the floor. And you can just close your eyes and relax. Final movement. Go to a place that you can hold. We're going to hold this for several moments. Again, you can come down whenever you need to. Otherwise, just relax. Focus on your breath. Notice when you inhale, the ribs expand. Notice when you exhale, they contract. And if your elbows are lifted, take them back to the floor. Just stack one hand on top of the other and then start walking your elbows away. You come down slowly. You can take one side of your head to your hands or your forehead. And now draw your left knee in towards you. And just rest the right side of your head on your hands. This is just a nice way to relax the lower back after that last stretch. And then slide your leg again back. Other side, draw your right knee in, take the left side of your head to your hands. And then come back. Slide your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your chin, tuck your toes. Take your time to slowly work your way up. There's always, I guess, a lot of people like to try to move into child's pose. Not great for your back. For some people it's fine, a lot of people it's not. So we just come into a neutral spine. So sit on your heels. If this is too much for your shins, you can place a blanket under your shins or on your knees. If it's too much flexion of the knees, you can place a blanket behind your knees. Shoulders back, sitting nice and tall. So we're going to add a little more of a foot stretch. So take your fingers to the floor, tuck your toes under. Most people hate this pose. I haven't seen anyone die from it yet. But it is intense. So just place your hands on your thighs. Make sure your toes aren't curled under. Chin level with the floor. Have a little bit of smile on your face. And it's poses like this that teach us to be calm in intense situations. Again, just focus on the breath. Belly rises when you inhale. Belly falls when you exhale. And then fingertips to the floor, release your toes, bounce your ankles, just to release that tension. Come back. I'm just sitting to one side of your feet. And stretch your legs out in front. So we're going to do a few very relaxing poses just to end off. We're going to continue with a little bit of the shoulder opening, shoulder stretches. So take a blanket and just roll the blanket a few times. It doesn't have to be too high, just a little bit of height, maybe 3 inches or so. You're going to place that right under your shoulder blades, a little bit below the shoulder blades, a little bit lower. And you want your shoulders to fall to one side of the roll and your hips on the other. So this is a bit of a supported fish pose. And then take your hands up, your elbows level with the shoulders, so cactus arms, and let your arms sink down. So if this is very intense on your shoulders, you can always take your hands back to your belly or to the floor. Otherwise, you're rolling the shoulders back, turning your arms up. And your arms are like cactus arms, goalposts. You also can have your knees bent. Whatever, experiment different positions for your feet to see what feels good. And then just relax everything. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls. Check that your shoulders and your neck and your jaw are relaxed. Let your hips feel heavy on the floor. And just let your legs and ankles and feet fall wherever they will. If your arms are still up in cactus arms, start to take them back. Place your hands on your stomach. Bend your knees. And shift your hips to one side and slowly roll in the opposite direction. Place your top hand on the floor, extend your top leg, and slowly work your way up to sitting. Let's move the blanket off to the side for now. And we're going to take a block. And you can use a couple books where anything is going to go under the lower back. So we're going to do a supported bridge. So come to lying on your backs again. This time walk your feet in nice and close. Roll the shoulders under. Fingertips close to your heels. And make sure your block is within reaching distance, or whatever you're using. Start to curl your tailbone under, lift up through your hips, and then roll your shoulder blades under. And take your block. You can also use a firm pillow, probably about 3 or 4 inches, and you're going to just release your hips onto your support. The blocks has to be something fairly firm. And you're placing your sacrum onto it. So that's a flat bone at the bottom of your spine. You want your tailbone on one side of the surface, and your lumbar should be able to relax on the other side. So there shouldn't be anything pinching or any jarring. And then roll the shoulders under and have your palms up. You want your knees over your ankles as much as possible. So if you have your feet too close, so the knees are past your ankles, that will strain the knees over the time. And too far away just starts putting a different type of pressure on your feet and your back. So you want your ankles right under your knees. So start to curl your tailbone under, lift up. You can take if you're using a block, or you should stack up another book,
whatever you're using under your hips. And again, just relax. Whatever you're using for support, it could be a pillow, it could be a bolster, it could be several folded blankets. You want to make sure your shoulders are on the floor and rolled under, so you're moving towards the tops of your shoulders. Think about your chest moving towards your chin. And it's the rib cage that's lifting, but not popping, but expanding upward. And you create lengthening through your waist. And your tailbone guides towards your knees. We're not trying to go super high, we're just trying to create an opening. We spend a lot of time rounding forward, whether we're on phones, computers, or any other type of device or steering wheel. And we tend to round through the fronts of the shoulders, so we're trying to undo that, create opening. The other important thing to remember in this pose is you always want to have a space under the back of your neck. So you should be able to slide fingers under the back of your neck. It shouldn't be flat on the floor. So your neck and your jaw and your face are neutral. And start to curl your tailbone under. Gently lift your hips away from whatever support you're using, and then set that support off to the side. Come down slowly. Reach your hands over your head. Keep your tailbone tucked, and then slowly lower one vertebra at a time. Lowering your back to the floor. Just feel all the muscles of your back getting squeezed between the weight of your upper body and the floor. And then again, take your hands back, coming back to neutral spine constructive rest pose. We're starting to get ready for a final relaxation, but we're going to take a couple final stretches. You can draw your knees into your chest. You can rock from side to side. Any final stretches you want to do before final relaxation. And another nice option is turn your feet to the ceiling, moving into happy baby pose. Take your hands outside around your feet. Draw your knees towards the floor on the outside of your shoulders. Shins perpendicular to the floor. And you can rock from side to side. You can stretch one leg and then the other. And you take the soles of your feet together like in butterfly pose. And then just slowly release your feet to the floor. And at this point, if you want, you can roll to one side. Use whatever supports that you like for final relaxation. So you might want to put a bolster under your knees. A rolled blanket will also work for support under the knees. And I also like to have a folded blanket under my head. And I'll show you a nice little trick to help relax the neck. So we're going to roll onto our support. You want your ankles on the floor. So if you have something on your knees that causes your ankles to hover, put something under your ankles as well. And if I have a blanket under my head, so you draw the blanket a little closer to the shoulders. And then you can start curling the corners of your blanket under, rounding, and just keep squeezing them under and around your head. And it creates a little bit of a nest around your head to make it feel completely supported and relaxed, as well as your neck. And then your hands come to the side. Let your feet fall to the side. Think about the tops of your shoulders, the fronts of your shoulders, and just let them relax back a little bit more. And then take a slow, deep inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, let the whole body melt into the surface beneath you. Take this moment to scan your body from head to toe. Look for any areas that you didn't realize you're still carrying, maybe in your ankles or your wrists, your hands, maybe in your jaw or your eyes. and just let it go. Whenever you inhale, let your whole body feel light, like it's floating away from the floor. And when you exhale, let yourself feel heavy and sinking into the floor. Muscles melting away from the bones. And as we move into silence, continue to focus on the breath. Inhale, feeling light and floating. Exhale, feeling heavy and sinking and melting. And you'll find that when you focus on your breath, your mind will be more settled. And now feel free to stay a little longer in Shavasana if you wish. And when you are ready to come out, take very small movements with your feet and your fingers. Take your feet together, stretch your hands over your head. Stretch from your fingers to your toes. As you exhale, draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug, rocking gently from left to right. And when you're ready, let yourself softly roll over to one side. Just resting your head in your hands for one more moment before returning to activity. And when you're ready, place your top hand on the floor, extend your top leg. Take your time to slowly work your way back to sitting. And I hope you enjoyed this practice, and I hope you feel a little more relaxed from when we started. And take your hands together in front of your heart. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti is a prayer for peace in our hearts, peace in our community, and peace in the world. Draw your fingers to your forehead, bowing to your higher self first. And then I bow to you. Namaste.